What's going on, everyone? So, it's official. Demar Derozan lands with the Sacramento Kings. Made a video earlier talking about how they were closing in on this deal. And now we got official reports that ESPN source, the Sacramento Kings are agreed on a sign-and trade that will land Demar Derozan on a 3-year deal, send Harrison Barnes to the San Antonio Spurs, Chris Duarte, 2 second-round picks, and cash to the Chicago Bulls. So let's jump right into the Kings side of this. Now, Sacramento gets a legit 24-point-a-game guy, one of the better fourth quarter players. He's been one of the top players in the league as far as clutch goes, as far as fourth quarter scoring, fourth quarter minutes. This guy is a legit bucket getter. Yes, he's older in age, but still a guy that can put it in the hoop. Now, he signed for a 3-year deal. 3 years, $70 million. Is what Sacramento has him for. So his contract won't be done until he's 38, which is why a lot of teams were kind of reluctant to go and make that move. But Sacramento, based on the reports, they want to kind of keep up with the arms race that we're seeing in the Western Conference, and they think that DeMar DeRozan is a guy that will take them to that place. Now, if this works, great, right? Offensively, Sacramento has been one of the best offensive teams in the league the last few years. Adding DeMar DeRozan to this will only improve them and make them better. I think will make them more efficient on the offensive side. However, I do have my concerns, right? Got De'Aaron Fox, got Malik Monk, you got DeMar DeRozan. You got 3 guys that are in many ways very similar. They are all 3 best with the ball in their hands, and they are all 3 best in isolation, right? Also, the pace in which Sacramento likes to play isn't really DeMar DeRozan's game. Now, could they potentially make adjustments? And it would be nice for a team like Sacramento to have DeMar DeRozan where, when things aren't really going right, you can kind of dump it down to him and allow things to settle, kind of operate better in the half court. That's always a possibility. But also defensively, I know a lot of people, because I mentioned this before, a lot of people like, Sacramento doesn't play defense anyway. Yeah, which is why they're probably not going to win anything. And adding DeMar DeRozan, I don't think really makes them that much better, right? Like, I think it definitely has the potential to make them better, but like, even with the Lakers, right? There were questions about his fit alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and LeBron James's ability to make plays and passes and all that stuff, right? There's no question that there's a fit as big, if not more, in my opinion, alongside De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. And just like the Lakers, with those reports, I said, I think DeMar makes them better, right? And gives them a lot of what they need, but I don't think it makes them a lock contender. I feel the same way about the Kings, but also the Lakers needed somebody more like DeMar than Sacramento does. I just think that Sacramento was almost better off. I know that they gave up Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte, but it's like, could you use those salaries to maybe get somebody better down the line? It's an interesting question, but we'll see how this plays out because this has potential to be very good for Sacramento. I'm not trying to discredit that. Obviously, we'll know sooner rather than later, but I just have the questions about the fit and, the 3 guys kind of being ISO heavy on ball type players. But moving on, the San Antonio Spurs are having themselves quite the offseason, right? Go and draft, Stephon Castle. Top of drafting Stephon Castle, they also end up trading the 8th pick, get some future firsts, right? That they can use to go make a big splash, make a big play for a guy like a Lauri Markkanen even potentially. They go and get what, in my opinion, was the best decision that they could have made in landing Chris Paul. The growth and development that Chris Paul is going to provide to that team is invaluable. Right? I mean, even SGA talks heavily about how much of an impact Chris Paul had on him and him taking the next step. Imagine what he's going to be able to do with guys like Stephon Castle, like, Devin Vassell. These guys are all very impactful players. Having Vassell and Castle as like your 2 primary guards that are going to develop and learn under Chris Paul, I do think you're going to see that uptick. Also, Victor Wembanyama, him kind of being alongside Chris Paul, I think he's never going to have an easier time. Chris Paul is going to make things so it's not even going to be fair with Victor Wembanyama. I mean, genuinely unlock Victor Wembanyama. But also with Harrison Barnes, this gives them a versatile 3-and-D forward who also is a veteran, 32 years old, and has 3-and-D status, right? He's a guy that has championship DNA, won a championship with the Golden State Warriors. He's a guy that you could slot at the 4, you could slot him at the 5 or at the 3, right? So now you could do something if you wanted to in your starting 5, bring Castle off the bench and kind of allow him to take his time getting his feet under him and do something like a Chris Paul, Vassell. You could do like a Harrison Barnes, so on, and then a Victor Wembanyama, or you could go with all 3 and maybe have Castle play the 3, Barnes play the 4, and then Victor play the 5, and you kind of got this switchable. Yeah, a little undersized, but I think Victor makes up so much ground that I think you get away with it. Kind of play with the fast pace if you wanted to. Be interesting to see how the Spurs kind of integrate Harrison Barnes, because I do think that this is a really good pickup for them, right? Veteran guy. He's not going to take away from the stars. He's not going to take away from anybody. Comes in, gets an impact. He's also a guy that you basically got for free. You were the 3rd team, right? You got Harrison Barnes for nothing, right? Like, why not take that? It's a huge pickup for them, in my opinion. But lastly, the Chicago Bulls, right? Chicago Bulls, they time to hit the reset button. It was time to rebuild anyway. Luckily, they were able to get off of the contract that is DeMar DeRozan, instead of re-signing him, because there were talks and reports of them signing him to a $30 to $40 million deal for like 2 years. It was like, what are they thinking, right? But now they've clearly hit that reset button. They worked out DeMar DeRozan, helped him, which talked about in that previous video. That makes Chicago look good. Right? That makes Chicago look very good, because now they get to go and they get to say, hey, look, he could have just walked left for nothing, but we wanted to make sure he could get the most money. You stick with us, you ride with us, we're going to take care of you, right? It makes them look good as an organization. They get a guy in a Chris Duarte who they can add to their core. I don't know how long he's going to stick around with Chicago, but he's a guy that they can add to their mix. They can release them. They have flexibility with him. They also get some cash. They get some picks in the process of just kind of doing business. So I genuinely think that this was a win-win for everybody. And this is what you usually want to see in these 3-team deals, these win-win propositions. And I think that that's what you got. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What do you think of Harrison Barnes going to the San Antonio Spurs? What do you think of Chicago's compensation for DeMar DeRozan? Again, they were working out a sign and trade. They weren't going to get they weren't going to get a bunch of firsts and stuff. No, it's just you got something back, right? Which is all you were looking for. And then also, what are your thoughts on the Sacramento Kings landing DeMar DeRozan? Do you have concerns? Do you think it's going to be great? They're going to be really good. They got that much better. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.